Waiting to see if I'm live. I am. So good morning, writers. I am sitting in sunny Cape Town, South Africa, and it is the tail end of summer, and we are just having the most ridiculously glorious weather. We can't really take advantage of it. We can't go to the beaches. We're in our houses. And of course, all of us are writing. So I wanted to speak to you. Today is Feedback Friday. And we only ask at specific times that you put up your own writing and ask people to give you some feedback on it. And this is one of those days. And we ask that because this is a community and there are rules in a community, and we just can't have everybody all the time asking for feedback. So this is really one of those fantastic opportunities where other writers are going to look at your writing. So there's two things I'm going to talk about. One is if you want feedback, and the other one is to give feedback to another writer. So today we're asking you to share a piece of your writing. When you choose what to share, be selective. Really put up stuff that you really want some constructive criticism. It could be your book idea. You could pitch to other writers your book back cover blurb. It could be a piece of your writing, a characterization. It could be your opening. Let's call it 500 words. We will give you a limit. I think about 500-600 words. It becomes quite long. So choose what you want to put up first. And before you put it up, you really do need to introduce what your book's about. Don't assume any writer has in their head on this group remembered what your book is about. So please preface it by saying it's a memoir or it's a nonfiction about my struggle with addiction and bulimia. It's a memoir about my walk through China, or it's a young adult fantasy novel with a lead character who goes into a well and has to swim to a new world. Okay, so first, what is the genre? What is the headline concept of your book? Secondly, what sort of feedback are you asking for? And thirdly, paste the writing below that you are looking for comments on. Then pop it up in the group. Now, let's change into the other shoe, which is you are looking on the group, and really it's very useful to look at other people's writing, to read it, and to also give feedback. But giving feedback in writing is a very specific thing, because when we put stuff up as writers, the last thing you want is for everybody to say how fabulous. You are looking for ammunition to make your writing better. So when we give feedback to a piece of writing, it's quite specific. The first thing you want to mention is something you like about it. What is good? Is it the tone? Is it the attitude? Is it the way they've crafted the words? Did you feel grabbed into the story? Did you love the dialogue? So you want to first compliment them or pick out something that was positive in the writing. Your next step of feedback is to highlight things you feel could be improved. And really, we're looking for honesty. We're not looking for you to say this was dead boring. Specific stuff so they can rewrite that piece or use it going forward. So you may say one of many things like, this was a lovely piece, but it was simply narrative. I wasn't drawn in. There was no dialogue, and I didn't feel a sense of characters talking or engaging with each other. You may say something like, you lost me a little bit. You started with a lot of backstory dumping, and I sort of wasn't really getting a sense of moving into the plot yet. Can you paste a little bit more or expand what you've put up? So you may want to ask them for some more so that you're actually starting to understand their story. You may say stuff like, wow, hectic. There's a lot of swearing there. For me as a reader, that's off-putting. I'm wondering if you can't tone the language down, but it's got great attitude. So we're looking for really specific stuff. You can tease out words you like or don't like. You can speak of any aspect of the craft of writing that you want them to look at. And please bear in mind that it's just your opinion. So they may not agree with you. and they may not do anything about it. And that's also advice to you as an author. You're soliciting lots of opinions, and you're certainly going to get them. At the end of the day, your writing is your own. And you're going to have this when you send your writing out. And many of you have already crossed this bridge where either you get no reply or people give you a million reasons why you should do it differently and how. And I certainly know some of our writers on this group who've sent out novels have had such significant structural feedback from sending it out. Change this, change that, change the decade. Can you make it, instead of a romance, this? Make it a mystery. Can you write in a different subplot? We don't like the existing subplot. You have to, as an author, take on board feedback. Then the choice becomes, what do I do with this? Do I have it in me to do another rewrite? Do I really want to take this advice and change my book? Many authors come back to me after full manuscript assessment, in which we give a huge amount of changes that they need to do, we think they should do to make it better. And they go, I'm sticking with the plot. And those writers can end up getting contract or publishing deals. So you're looking for ways to make it better, but they are not your golden solution always. One thing consistently, writers who get published and get better and better in their writing have told us, and when we go to Greece, we have interviewed or brought in a romance writer. She's on her 17th romance novel. And she said consistently the thing that made her writing better was not just feedback from publishers, her editor, every time she wrote a book. She just simply got tighter at her plotting, better at characterization, more confident with dialogue. But it was also her reader reviews. And readers, when your book is actually finally published, readers on Amazon can give you very, very good and elaborate reviews. You go and look at some of those really prolific reviewers on Amazon and what they actually write about books. It's the equivalent of what could be a professional manuscript appraisal. Like, this character didn't buy in, felt two-dimensional. I didn't get a sense of her family. I didn't feel like she was a real person in the world. I felt like she was just there to service the storyline. The world wasn't real. However they review your book, they'll point out plot holes, and they'll really give you masses to work with in terms of feedback. We're not asking for that on the Facebook group. We're asking you to put up a solid piece of writing, be very specific about your book, ask your readers what kind of what you're looking for. And of course, if you don't know what you're looking for, you can just say feedback on this piece of writing. It's the first paragraph. It's the first few chapters. It's where you meet my hero. It's where you meet the villain. It's the day I go and get my diagnosis. What do you think? So happy writing, happy feedback. Be fantastic at giving feedback. It's great practice as an author to become a beta reader, and enjoy your writing day.